Are we awake? We're here. Okay, lots of people. Good morning. How is everybody? There was a late party last night, I heard. Many people attended until 2 in the morning. I'm impressed. I'm Amanda Haas, and welcome to the Napa Valley Film Festival Culinary stage. I'm a Whole Foods Marketing Ambassador and cookbook author, and so happy to be back hosting this all weekend with some incredible chefs and filmmakers. And I'm really excited about the first one this morning. I want to introduce you to Lindsay Kutner and Abby Ainsworth, who have made the film Stage, the Culinary Internship. So let's take a look at a clip.
Es muy fácil destruir una persona. Las cocinas son muchas veces trituradoras de personas, del espíritu de personas. Aquí tiene que pasar lo contrario.
Oído.
5 morros sale.
My father was still mad about me coming here, but I told him that actually one of the top restaurants in the world. Let's say in my resume, Mugar is pow.
I want to get higher and higher. I want to learn from the best. I tried to get here 4 years.
He trabajado mucho para poder venir aquí ahorrando y poder permitir estar aquí así.
Llevo poco tiempo en este mundo, el mundo de la cocina. Sí que a veces pienso que estoy muy atrás del resto de la gente. Pero es como que tú misma te implicas que tienes que ser todavía más fuerte que ellos. ¡Ah! Dios, qué de niña, ¿no?
Seguro que muchos de vosotros vais a ser nombres reconocidos el día de mañana y tendréis que liderar la cocina. Y aquí están, entre vosotros, el Ferran Adrià del día de mañana, el Massimo Bottura, el René Redzepi. No tenéis ni idea lo que se esconde detrás vuestro. No tenéis ni idea del potencial que tenéis. Pues bienvenidos a Mugaritz.
Wow. I'm really excited for this film. Congratulations, you two. And to bring it to life and have a great conversation around staging in general is Chef Stuart Brioza. Come on out. We are so lucky. This is the chef and owner of State Provisions in the City and the Progress. James Beard Award-winning Best Chef 2015, along with his wife Nicole, who's here as well. So happy to have you in the house today. Hello, Chef.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. We're going to have an interesting conversation around staging, I'm sure. But while we do that, we're going to make something from your book that looks amazing.
Okay, cool. And you have it in front of you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
so
aren't they lucky they get to eat
say,
at the beginning?
You should eat it while it's warm. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a dish that I think is really relevant for state bird provisions, which is a dish that is unlike any other dish that's out there. It's a dish that we created. I worked alongside of my chef de cuisine, Gabby, and together we kind of came up with this really interesting dish that is a savory mochi. And most of you are familiar with mochi that like kind of wraps strawberries,
right,
or it has like a bean paste. This is something that we actually serve kind of in the spirit of like an Italian gnocchi,
wow,
right? But then it kind of takes on a life of its own. But texturally, it's interesting. It's got kind of this like really chewy kind of texture to it. And then what we do is that we decided to kind of do like a four-way with carrot, because we really want to amplify all the flavors that carrots give. So in my pot, you'll see I've got carrots that are just boiling away here.
Water, salted water?
Yeah.
They'll
okay, good. You have the screen there.
Too, absolutely.
Yeah. So just some salted water, just carrots, skin on, very simply. I got those kick-started because it does take a little bit of time.
We just want to get them really soft.
Yeah, we're just going to cook them until they're basically falling apart, so not quite there yet.
Okay.
And in the meantime, while those are cooking, I'm going to start some of the other
Ooh, I
carrot
can fire up
processes.
the monogram induction for you if you want.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just the
yeah,
assistant.
Let's do this here.
Yeah, perfect. Great. I love this induction. It heats up
Yes.
so quickly.
So this is probably one of my favorite preparations with carrots right
Okay.
here. Is little baby carrots that are cooked slow and low in just a little bit of butter.
I'm not sad about what I'm seeing. This looks like a good idea.
This is my mom's face when I'm saying a little bit of butter too.
She just,
Around Thanksgiving.
you gotta, right?
Just wait till I get to the salt.
Oh, exactly. We keep talking about that all weekend long.
Okay,
It's so important.
so what we're going to do is we're going to start off the butter, and I like to use a nice cast iron pan for this because I think it just kind of holds the heat.
Right.
And we're happy enough, very fortunate enough to have the Blanc Creative cast iron pans.
They're so gorgeous. Take them to the
which
table.
Corey has been working on for years, I think. It's been his life's work.
You want to kind
what
of
I'm
just
gonna do
maintain a
is-
simmer?
Yeah,
Just
so what we're going
kinda
to do
like
is not on a
medium?
super high
You
heat,
got it.
kind of a
Okay.
medium heat.
All right. But you're
And
looking
we're
to
going
brown
to load
the butter.
in. Yeah, the butter's going to brown with the carrots.
Yum.
We're going to load in some garlic to it, which
Okay.
I'm just lightly smashing
Love it.
with my knife.
It's going to smell so good.
And then what I'm going to do is add some fresh herbs, so thyme
Gorgeous.
and rosemary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it just already looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Right. It looks amazing.
And then, of course, the magical salt.
The magical salt. Chef, for those of us who have not eaten in your restaurants, is there a way that you can describe your food for us? It's kind of tricky. Has anybody
It's-
been there to State Bird or the part?
Yeah,
we're
who's
spoiled.
been? Okay.
Terrific.
You may have a better way of describing the food, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, how do you?
So, I look at State Bird. I mean, first, it's kind of function and form that kind of drives State Bird, where it's basically a small plates restaurant. And we just take small plates to you. We serve it in a style that's like similar to dim sum. We draw influences from like tapas culture or sushi bar or izakaya, banchan. So we kind of draw influences from all of these little small plates, kind of, I call it like fast food served slow. So which is basically we cook with a lot of vigor, and we put a lot of food on trays and carts, and we deliver it to your table. And
So fun.
you as the guest have the choice of to choose a dish based on what it looks like. So it's kind of like dim sum in that. The style of food is really, it's California cuisine at its heart and soul. But I think with the idea that it's an evolved California cuisine, right? It's an evolution of it. So we really play with a lot of flavors and the abundance that comes from our oceans and from the pastures and of course from the farms. And
Aren't we spoiled?
yeah, incredibly spoiled.
Right.
And also it's really just the way of cooking in San Francisco.
It
All
just
right.
exploded. I feel like the moment you opened, the whole world showed up. It's pretty amazing.
It's been quite a roller coaster.
Right?
And, we're every day very fortunate. Okay, we're getting there.
You're okay, almost.
And of
but
course,
can't-
you probably don't want to try that at home. By
No, I'm
dipping your
laughing
hands
because
in
I'm worried
boiling
you're going to
water.
burn your hands. I'm like, he
Yeah.
does this every day. I
Yeah.
guess you're going to be
That's
fine. I won't worry about
So the idea with the carrots is that we do want to get them to be very, very tender. And once
keep
they're at that point, so we're
Okay.
working pretty well. I may
Okay.
turn that up
Sure.
just a little bit.
And I'll keep an eye on them.
Okay. What does that smell like?
So
to
this
you?
smells so amazing. You get the garlic, but I'm curious, you put the herbs in sooner than I would normally.
Yeah.
But they're
absolutely.
going to cook in. Are they going to get pureed with what you're doing, or
No,
you'll take
these.
them out?
So these are purely just the garnish on
great.
the dish. So it's
Okay.
just a slow roasted, kind of butter basted, and I think it needs just a touch more butter.
I love it.
And
I agree.
Don't you agree? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be reasonable here.
It's Saturday and we're in the wine country drinking wine at 10:30 in the morning. I think we can have some more butter.
That's right. You need to set your gut
Exactly.
properly
Get started today.
there.
I'll switch with you so you
All right.
can do your thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I also did want to ask Dory Sanchez, who's here from Sterling Vineyards, what we're pouring today to go with this gorgeous dish. Hi, Dory.
Hi. Well, today we have
What are we
our
drinking?
2018 Rutherford Sauvignon Blanc from our BV winery.
Nice.
And our Rutherford vineyard is going to be located in the heart of Napa Valley. So this Sauvignon Blanc is going to be bright acidity, crisp, and when it's chilled, it's going to be very refreshing.
And balanced with the sweetness of the carrots, hopefully. What do you think of the combination, everybody? You happy? I'd do this for breakfast.
I do this for breakfast.
Right?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, why not?
What can I do
This
for you,
is
Chef?
Napa
Can
Valley.
I check on your
Everything is there.
carrots?
Oh, we are in a good place
Okay,
right now.
all right.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on making one of the garnishes for this, and you probably tasted it, was the Cumin scented pistachio Dukkha. So
Gorgeous.
what I do is take a little bit of cumin and coriander.
Okay. And toasting these
Seeds.
spices are just
And
going to
that-
make them bring out the flavors more.
That's right. So
Okay.
we're going to toast them because we want to kind of awaken the flavors
Okay.
that are in there. Let's see here. And so kind of like a medium heat is good to toast. I don't love to go too high because you can quickly burn and they can
Okay.
take on a pretty intense taste. that
More
is-
burnt than-
It's more burnt, right. Just like a burnt nut can do.
It's fun to watch him doing 3 things at once, and you realize you're such a pro. But I'm really curious, too. We were talking about the nature of your film and how you came to make this about staging, because it's been a really important part of your life, working in other kitchens as you came into your own. And I have to brag about you, too. Your film just won. Tell us the award it just won.
So it won Best International Feature Documentary at the Galway Film Festival in Ireland.
Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
pretty exciting. Can you share with us how you came to want to do a movie about this topic?
So I used to work in the restaurant industry, not as a chef. I was front of house. And I would see all my friends who were chefs. They would go and they would stage and work abroad. Unfortunately, in Canada, we don't have any Michelin star restaurants. It's very sad.
Just go to his.
Yeah.
Come while you're in town.
Yeah. And so if you're a young chef, you have to go abroad to really get that experience
Right.
at a Michelin star restaurant if you want to get your own Michelin star
Sure.
and have that level. So I would see my friends go to the Fat Duck, the French Laundry,
Right.
Puree in New York.
Yep.
And they would come back a completely different chef. Like
Right.
everything that they learned, they would absorb and then take back to the restaurant. So I thought it was quite fascinating. Almost in the sense of anyone who's doing an internship or pursuing their dream, really just wanting to be the best of their craft.
Right.
And Lindsay and I, we're Butternut Productions, and so we focus on culinary content.
Great.
And so this was something we had in our back pocket for almost like 8 years,
Right.
and it took us 5 years to make the film.
Wow. And it's such an interesting topic because, Chef, you shared with us you staged in Europe and spent a lot of time. You just
Yeah.
go and you beg to work for free or next to nothing.
Well, the idea, I think you're actually working for quite a lot. And if you take money out of the equation, what you're doing is you're bartering your experience and
love that.
your physical labor for education. And I think that we can't lose sight of the importance of that. Any opportunity in our industry to go and spend time in another kitchen, a different environment, see a different perspective, handle products that are the same but different. I mean, I remember my first experience when I worked in Paris, and this is in 1998.
Okay.
And, I was, definitely a poor cook, and I had a friend who had an apartment, and I slept on her floor,
Right.
in her, like, not even a studio, like less than a studio apartment.
No kitchen.
And I started work at 9 a.m., and it took me an hour to get from one arrondissement to the other. And then we finished about 1 a.m. in the morning with a 3-hour siesta, right? So
Right.
I'd go to the park, fall asleep in the park, and then I would get
back.
a coffee at the cafe, and then I'd go back to work at about 5 or so. So from like 2 to 5, take a 3-hour break. But honestly, I didn't even need the break. I would have done it. I would have worked 9 to 2 in the morning.
You loved it.
Because I was loving it, and I wasn't there for. I was there for my education, and I
Right.
was there. And I remember the first day I arrived, and we see a bag of scallops that just arrived at the restaurant, and the scallops came in the shell. They were whole, and it was like, okay, I haven't shucked scallops before. And every day my morning started with shucking like 100 scallops.
Wow.
And, you're using your little palette knife and you're doing it. And
Right.
now it's one of those things that I turn around and I teach my cooks and my chefs because they don't see scallops like that or haven't had that experience. And I'm like, all right, well, let's get 200 scallops in today.
Here we
and
go.
let's go to work, right? But it is that experience that I craved and I wanted, and I can still remember the way that the kitchen felt that first morning I arrived, and everybody's speaking French, and it's like, yeah, I spoke like puree and,
The basic saute.
mise en place, and, but everything, there's kind of this universal language,
Right.
no matter what, that everyone speaks, and you kind of, you realize that even though that there's these barriers within and different ways of doing it, that there's kind of the same mentality as well. And I'm like, I came back to my kitchen and I felt empowered, but I also felt very proud of what we were doing at the time. I was working in Chicago and I was a young cook, and I was like so proud of what we were putting out.
Right.
So it wasn't just like, oh, Europe does it better. No, they do it different, right? And from state to state, kitchen to kitchen, you realize that there's this difference that happens, and you're just picking up on little things. And the things that I see, it's like, okay, how product comes in. Or, like, what kind of container? How do they store things?
Right.
It's
Building
the little
layers.
things that you're like, oh, man, that's genius.
Yep.
And you take it back to your kitchen, and you're like, you've got this, like, little one-up, right? It's like, I always like when everyone's sleeping that you're the guy who's, like, reading the book and
Yeah.
trying to, like, log in a little more information because, if you're not, somebody else is doing that, right?
Yes.
So you got to stay ahead and keep your edge.
But clearly you found what you love to do in life. There's no question.
Oh, most definitely.
And I love your take on it because a lot of people might see staging as a negative experience, like they're being taken advantage of, but your film as well explores the positive aspects of it. It's exactly what you're saying. You built all of these layers to your career that he wouldn't have been able to build otherwise.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just going to add that, he got it right on the ball, and it's a positive thing. And we spent 5 years working on this project, and about
Wow.
2 or 3 of them were spent researching, going and speaking with chefs and professors to find the restaurant that we were going to work on this film at. And it brought us to Mugaritz, and it's really a special place that it's gives the stagiaires there a great opportunity to work in many different stations.
Sure.
They get opportunities that you wouldn't normally
would
get
never
as a
be given.
stagiaire, and they work 9 months there, which is really fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you really have to have a lot of passion and drive to work for free for 9 months.
And plus work with the best, right? Which is such an amazing opportunity. Is it stuck?
Oh, there we go.
Got it.
Okay.
I was going to say, how can I help? How can I help?
All right.
So are you
So-
trying to puree these to any consistency?
Yeah, what I'm doing with the carrots is I'm pureeing them to kind of a chunky consistency, to
Okay.
be honest.
Just breaking them down a little.
Yeah, and so then what I'm going to do, let's put this back
Okay.
on. We're going to
Turn it on?
the carrots. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and, so chunky consistency. I like texture in the mochi. So
Right.
the idea of trying to like emulate that, and it's going to further break down.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
let's turn that on.
Perfect. I do love this cooktop. It's really fun. So you're going to do, and we're going to add some liquid to this.
So what we're going to do to this is that now we want to amplify the carrot flavor. So we got that on high.
Right.
That's great. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add fresh carrot juice.
This is just juiced carrots.
To this.
You didn't do anything else to them.
No, I
just
didn't
straight
do
through
anything to
okay.
this. So this is just fresh carrot juice.
Gorgeous. Such intense flavor.
And we're making a nice mash, and we're going to boil this
Okay.
and tighten it up. How much carrot juice? It's in the book.
He's like, as much as looks good.
I do it enough to kind of make like a mud,
Uh-huh.
and then I want to tighten it up so it's like
actually
like
a good
like a
descriptor.
clay, right?
Right.
So you kind of think of it through that, arena.
Okay.
Okay.
How
And
did
you're
you?
just gonna kind of.
I'm just gonna babysit it.
Keep
Okay.
hammering
This is
it.
my version of a stage right here. I always joke I
Yeah.
wouldn't last a day in a restaurant.
And now I'm going to turn these carrots down. If you notice, the carrots have just been
Oh, they're
cooking
gorgeous.
away.
They are
And
gorgeous.
they're just starting to really take on nice color and a nice roast.
And
And
how-
they're softening.
So what do you
really
think of
well.
the brown butter? Is there ever a point where you think it's too dark?
Not when you're at a low temperature.
Okay.
It'll actually it'll balance out with what's being cooked.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to sneak over here.
It's going to get the mortar and
All
pestle
right.
and get to work.
And what we're going to do here is to take this, now that these have been toasted
Oh, I
nicely,
love it.
I'm going to pop them right in.
He's doing it the old-fashioned way. I like
Yeah.
it. Pound them out.
You have to do it the old-fashioned way. And then I'm going to toast my sesame
Okay.
seeds, the same idea.
Get it for you.
Oy, let's go. Let's
I got
see
it.
here.
Patience. I
Thank
think.
you.
You're
yes.
welcome.
Okay. Patience, I have none.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
about
a chef
that.
after all.
You're like,
you know?
let's go.
We got to
go.
get the job done.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So you just kind of get started with it, and then you can work it
Yeah,
around.
so what I'm going to do is just kind of work it and crack it open. I don't know if we can see that. Oh, yeah, we can.
They can get in, yeah. Beautiful.
And you can see just kind of the cracked. I want to show off. I don't want it to be a powder because then you lose the integrity of the spice.
Yeah, and you can see it on the plate.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
How are we doing there?
What do you
Perfect.
think? It's almost
It's going. Yeah,
play?
we're getting there. Yeah.
Still muddy.
We're doing good. All right. So the next step is, along with the carrot, is we make a carrot juice vinaigrette. And so it's fresh carrot juice. And again, we've got roasted carrots, we've got the carrot mochi, and now we've got fresh carrots. So
This
we're
is
trying
brilliant.
to kind of attack carrots from all angles here.
Right, which is so smart. So what do you do for acid in that? Well, you're answering my question.
Yeah, there we go. She
So
just asked.
sweet with the carrot
So,
juice.
you know, with all these flavors, carrot lime makes the most sense.
It's a beautiful
So
combo.
we're just going to juice some limes.
Straight in.
Right?
I love
Into the
to,
carrot
you know,
juice.
we're not measuring, you're just doing it and tasting as you go, and
That's
you
right.
figure it
So,
out.
yeah, for me, it's all about taste, and it's finding the balance. And so, you know, just to see how much power that won. I don't
You
need
want
any of
these a little more toasted, Chef?
That worked out perfectly.
little more?
Oh, yeah, no, we're doing good there.
Great.
Yeah, so with these,
I love
to
this
where they're
pan.
golden brown,
Right.
and we're just flipping them around. If you want to get good at flipping your,
Do this.
if
There's
you're,
no way.
you know, like flipping your omelet or something,
Yeah.
why don't you practice with some sesame seeds first?
Oh my gosh.
And you just kind of keep it. And notice
beautiful.
I've only lost one sesame seed.
That's impressive. Is this the test you give when people come to extern in your restaurant now?
Well, it is now.
They can graduate
Yeah.
once they do that.
And so
So-
now adding that, and I like cooking sesame to where they just plump up a bit.
Okay.
And that's what's happened.
They bring out the flavor more, just even with that little bit of toast on it.
And I'm going to add some pistachios to this.
Gorgeous.
They're already toasted.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add some Malden sea salt.
So you're gonna get these bigger chunks broken
Bigger
down a
chunks,
little bit, but
yeah,
like it's
broken
so much
into
part
it.
of the flavor when you bite into it.
You got it.
Chef,
and then
I-
some chili flakes too, because,
Oh,
you know,
heat.
got to have a little heat.
What I think is interesting that we were talking about before we started
Open
too.
here.
Are
Oh,
we
this is
good?
Almost.
Almost.
there.
A little more liquid.
So we've
coming
gone
out.
from mud and we're kind of getting to a clay-like
clay?
consistency there.
I love that your story has kind of come full circle, and we were talking, our friend at San Francisco Cooking School, Jody Liano, has an extern program. I don't know if we call it staging anymore, right? But you're part of that program, and it's a
Yeah.
big deal to get placed in one of his restaurants.
Yeah, so we work, and I sit on her like kind of board of advisors, and you know, it's an important one because you know what she does is she takes students and she places them herself into restaurants that she feels would be have the right compatibility. And you know, we take those students, and it's an externship program, but it's set up as part of their culinary education,
Which is amazing. They can't graduate until they do their time in restaurants.
which is very key because you want to go and you want to have practical experience. And so what we try to do is set up a program that works for that. So it's not, we don't look at it through the lens of free labor, which
Yeah.
is probably something that, you know, you have to address in your movie. Especially for a lot of high-end restaurants that can kind of fill with a lot of talent.
Right.
This is great. That's
Perfect. Cut it?
Turn that off. Yep.
You got it.
And you know, we take it and we try to create a program that they're going to work through the several months with us, or several weeks is what it is, where they can really get to handle and touch many aspects of the restaurants, whether it's in receiving and, kind of produce and light butchery to working the line or working in pastry. And so they kind of do like a little mini cooking school within. And we try to really honor the fact that they're there working for us for their education rather than pay, which is, can take you a lot farther in life through that education lens.
And to have that opportunity and confirm whether they're going down the right path. I think so many people think they want to work in restaurants. They might go to school or not, and they get there and they realize this is not for me.
Which we've had, and we have a lot of people who go through the program and then they spend the hours and the days, in a kitchen and, realize that, 10 hours on their feet it isn't for them. And others are sort of like, I'm ready to do another 3 hours today, So it's a nice way of kind of figuring out where you want to belong, I guess.
Pursue it or not.
Finishing up the carrot vinaigrette.
Fresh ginger.
Okay. All these flavors make sense. You think carrot, ginger, lime. And so I like to use a microplane. And I don't need much because a little goes a long way. But this is going to blow your mind because I do the same thing with a jalapeno.
I've never done this.
I just take a jalapeno and I grate it.
This is going to be my big takeaway today. I keep learning every day, never in my life. Oh!
Yeah.
We're excited.
Okay.
I'm excited. It's gorgeous. But this is why people go work for people like you and try.
Wait, there's more.
Oh my God.
No, there's not.
That's it.
Those garlic presses you really don't need. I think a microplane and a knife
you have my favorite
does the work there.
Yes, I don't need much. But that's amazing. Because then you don't get those in-your-face bites of it. You just get the flavor throughout. Need seasoning?
I think it can take a little more.
Ooh, fired up.
Yeah.
I love this. I can study it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is brilliant.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, wow. That's going to be hot.
And then we're going to add just a little salt, and we're going to take some extra virgin olive oil, and we're just going to kind of make a little vinaigrette. And it's as easy as that. Right?
You don't need to bind it. You're just looking to take those great flavors, get them all over this dish. So you said you concepted this with one of your chefs?
Yeah.
How'd you decide to do the carrot with the mochi? This is just surprising, and I love it.
The idea was that, she had grown up eating kind of a mochi that her grandmother had made.
Right.
And we started to talk about, well, what does that look like in terms of like a restaurant dish?
Okay.
And so we kind of looked at carrots as this, this vegetable that everyone seems to like but me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I love carrot juice and I love eating raw carrots. And so the idea was, how do we take this, a dish like this, and really turn it into something that would just be an amazing carrot dish? And that was the idea. It's like, well, okay, I'm okay with not loving carrots, but
I think sometimes
doesn't mean we can't cook a great dish with carrots.
Right.
And so, and I think technically this is such an interesting thing.
I can't believe you're going to do this.
See the consistency here now, it's like more like clay.
Right.
And, you cook it down, but we've really infused the carrot flavor to be stronger than ever in it. And so what I do is I actually just weigh this out to be pretty...
That's the way to do it if you're doing
and I'm
something
going to take, you can take any weight really to this.
But it's a ratio.
Because it's a ratio. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 12 ounces roughly of the carrot puree.
We can do that.
Put this off to the side.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take that.
The magic of television.
And then what I'm going to do is take this mochi flour. So
where do you get this? Can you see this sweet rice flour?
Yeah. You guys have seen this before. You can find this almost at every, Whole Foods.
Yeah, you can. What do you know? You can find it at Whole Foods. You know what's amazing? Whole Foods has all of these things now, so it's great.
Mochi flour, this is actually Coda Farms, which is a Southern California farm.
Okay.
They do a lot of Japanese glutinous rices. They do some other legumes as well, and other grains. But they really focus on Japanese rice, short grain, and they make this flour.
Okay.
And this is by weight of equal parts.
Got it.
So I had 12 ounces, and I'm going to start with about 12 ounces. And it generally works out that way.
Okay.
Sometimes, let's see how many ounces.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, okay.
Are we in grams? No.
So I'll start there, and then
okay.
I'll add more if I feel like I need it.
All right. What's special? Is it just the rice grain itself that they use? Is there anything else in this?
No,
that you
there's
need?
nothing else
No.
in this. So what this
Short grain
is that
sweet rice
short
flour.
grain rice
Okay.
that is then taken to a powder form.
Got it.
And this is what, so much of the mochi out there is made from.
This is so
and you can also make this. One of the greatest dishes I've had was when I was in Kyoto with my wife, and we finished a fantastic kind of sushi experience, and the chef had some mochi rice on the stove that he'd been kind of working throughout the meal.
Yeah.
And it was actually the grain rice, and he just kind of kept beating it, so it had a little more texture to it. And this is also where this mochi idea kind of really became permanent within our restaurant.
Okay.
And he just took that mochi, scooped it out, and rolled it in a toasted soybean powder called kinako. And that powder really sweetened it up, and it was a nice dessert at the end.
Wow.
It had a bit of a savoriness. So I'm going to put my gloves on because it gets a
Gonna
little
keep it-
messy here.
All right, great.
But what we're going to do is we just start
Your
mixing it now.
hands. And just these two ingredients.
Yeah, that's it.
I would have expected
Right?
something else. Again, something to bind it, but the
No,
flour is
no.
sticky
The
enough.
flour is
Yep.
your binder here.
Yep.
And this is the genius of this. And you can do so many different mochis. Actually, someone just before the show came up to me and said that they made a beet mochi
Oh, gorgeous.
inspired by this.
Wow,
Now,
that's amazing.
At the restaurant, we do several mochis throughout the year because it's kind of it's a mainstay on our menu. And
This
so-
recipe's in his book right here, though, too. The finished dish is right here. I don't know if they can get a shot of it. It's beautiful.
So another one that we love to do, and one we've got on the menu right now, is a pumpkin mochi.
Oh, beautiful.
So we don't use pumpkin juice, but we do roast the pumpkins slow and low. We scoop them out, and we kind of just cook it until it's tight, same consistency.
Right.
And then we just add our mochi flour to it. And you cannot overwork this, so this
can't.
becomes kind of foolproof.
How far in advance can you do this?
And we can do this, for a couple of days in advance, to be
Wow.
honest. You can make your batter,
Okay.
or your dough, right?
Keep it in the fridge, wrap it like
Yeah,
pastry?
you just wrap it in the fridge, but I can also go right into a pot with this.
Wow.
And
Is
that's
it gonna
what's
be this?
amazing with it. Yeah, so let's do this.
Simmer?
Yeah, this is where I'm going to need your help.
Great. Put me to work.
We are going to take this.
This is my stage. Like I said, we'll see if I
This
pass.
is your stash, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I came out here with a scoop. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there it is.
Perfect. So with that, okay.
Okay.
So what you're going to do
Yep. I'll watch from
is,
here.
there's a little plate right there.
Sure.
Can you grab
The
that?
square one?
That's
or the
fine.
round? You looking
Doesn't
for this?
matter. Yeah, no, we're going to,
This?
you're just going to roll right onto it like a tray. Yep,
This will work.
perfect. So we're going to scoop these out.
I
And
think
we roll them up.
just watching this, you realize there's so many reasons to go work in a restaurant with someone. I'll learn more in this 30 to 40 minutes than I ever could just messing around at home by
Go ahead and
myself.
make
Do
me
that?
About
You got
12
it.
of those.
Okay.
Let's bring this up.
I'm curious,
High
after
temp.
you spent 5 years working on this, and you said you're in culinary production as filmmakers, what's next for you? Are you thinking about a new idea? Cool.
We are developing a new idea right now in development that we came across when we were doing development for Stage, actually.
Okay.
Can't talk too much
No,
about
I was
it.
going to say, wait a second. That was a really bad question. So everybody's like, oh, they're not.
But yeah, we're very open to ideas, and at the heart of it, we're storytellers. So it
Right.
could be in culinary or not. But I was a food writer and photographer for years as well. So and I just love food and everything culinary.
Right.
So that's kind of why we dived into culinary. But as I said, at the heart of it, we're storytellers. So if a good
Yes.
story comes our way, we'll
You'll
want to tell it.
And when are you showing? You screened the movie yesterday, but you're showing it again tomorrow?
Yeah, if anyone wants to come see our film, it's playing at Native Sun at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
We'd love to see you all there. We'll remember all your faces.
Yes.
And please come up to us
my God.
after this or after the film tomorrow and talk to us.
Yeah.
We're Canadian, so we're very friendly.
I'm just making sure I'm passing the test here. Doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Do you make people weigh them in the
You're doing good.
restaurant so they're exactly the same?
Yeah, no, we do this exact same. This is the method, actually.
Okay.
A little scoop, and we just
Right.
roll them out.
So fun.
And that becomes kind of our,
I would never know.
yeah.
I'm just thinking about that beet idea too. I feel like the texture of the beets would work really well with this. Like you
Oh,
could do
yeah.
an even swap.
Yeah. So the key, I think, is that when you pick a vegetable to do it, it should have kind of a radiant color.
That's enough.
And it should, this is great.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
I
keep
can't
going
stop.
if you want. Yeah,
No,
don't
I'm like,
stop.
I'm gonna keep making them.
So it should have a radiant color,
Okay.
and then it should also have kind of a really sweet flavor, right? So it's got to be something strong. So beets work really well.
Mm-hmm.
Pumpkin works really well. Carrots work really well. Corn works really well. Some things like parsnips we've tried, even though they kind of they don't look so good. They're like a little like, I don't know.
They taste okay, or you just
They taste,
visually
they
you're not
taste
a fan?
okay, but they don't have
Right.
that radiant color,
Right.
right? So what I'm going to do is I just put these right into boiling water, and they cook like gnocchi.
Oh wow,
The
that
difference
fast.
is that right when they float, I let them go just a bit longer.
And
And
how,
in
what's
the
the cue?
meantime, so what's the cue?
Yeah, for them being done. Like you
Well,
just,
experience really is the one, but it's letting them come up to a boil
Okay.
and letting them kind of bobble around at the top a bit to ensure that they're cooked all the way through.
Okay.
They take about 3 minutes or so, and in the meantime,
more butter.
yeah,
We're
we're going to
just finish this off.
dish.
Delightful.
So as I said, it is kind of like a gnocchi in that regard. So when we take these out, we want to kind of roll them around in a little bit of browned butter. And you can see our carrots, which are just so perfect
These
right
are
now.
stunning. You didn't add anything sweet to them at all. You
No,
just
no,
got
no,
the
no.
butter,
That's
the
it.
garlic,
Yeah.
and the herbs. Okay.
Yeah, and you can see that coming together. The other part of this is going to be a garnish of pickled carrots. So same idea, and you probably taste them on your plate, that they're pickled. So what we have now is we've got the carrot mochi, we've got the long roasted carrots,
So good.
we've got the fresh carrot juice, which kind of, gives it the fresh carrot flavor that I do love.
Right.
And then the pickled carrots. So, and a carrot four-way, so to speak.
Carrot four-way.
And now we're just waiting.
And now we just
Yeah,
wait
let's all look at
patiently.
the pot and see if we can say,
And
cook,
see if we
cook.
can make it boil. Crazy.
See if we can make it boil.
I'm always impressed when I see how people choose to put flavors together. Like I could make the carrots. Maybe I could learn to make the mochi, but I never would have thought to put all of these elements of it together
Yeah.
in one dish. And the pickle, I think, is a really brilliant way to kind of like you're saying you don't like sweetness maybe of the roasted
Right,
carrots, and then you
right,
get that,
right.
and it's remarkable.
Well, it's just nice because then it attacks your palate from so many different angles, right? You've got texture, you've got crunch, you've got fresh, you've got toast, right? You've got the spices that add another element to it. So the dish really comes at you. And for me, like at State Bird, our food there has to sort of be food that just sort of is constantly jumping up and down saying, pick me, pick me.
Right.
And it's like every dish is kind of there's nothing subtle, let's say. Nothing subtle about the food that we do. And that's by design. I think when you have small plates and you're getting inundated with a bunch of little tastes kind of at one time, that you want flavors that really kind of jump out at you with like salt, fat, acid, texture, heat, all of those things that really make a big difference. And you'll notice that now that they're kind of bobbling up in the top of the pot, so they're just about there.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn this up just a bit
Got it.
to kind of start to brown. And you can see it's getting foamy and beautiful.
I love that this handle. I just assumed it would maybe get hot. So far, so good. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
No, I mean,
beautiful.
in time it'll get hot. And they've also kind of grown a little bit in size.
Yeah.
You can kind of see. Oh, that looks good. So I'm going to start to spoon them right out.
Oh, gorgeous.
And we're going to fry them up into the brown butter.
I was going to ask how you and Nicole continue to find inspiration. I feel like you have so many creative recipes on your menus, but what do you do to just when you're feeling like, oh, what's next?
Well, it's a good question. I think travel really helps with that.
Right.
You know, you get inspired by what others are doing.
Sure.
I wish I had time to go and stage, honestly.
Right?
I would
Wouldn't
love
that
to
be
go back
amazing?
20 years and spend more time in other people's kitchens.
Yeah.
I do love, like, when we do some, like, professional chef collaborations, is an opportunity to spend time in someone else's kitchen.
Right.
So we're kind of collaborating, we're talking a lot. I get to kind of look and say, how do they store things? And, you know, I always go through the walk-in. It's kind of my...
That's your
That's my,
test,
like, I
or
like to go see what other people are doing.
Get inside their brain.
In their restaurants and how they store food.
Amazing.
As a matter of fact, another chef just did that to me recently, and she had walked through our walk-in, and now she's asking me about how I built this fish storage container in the back, and so I'm sending her the plans for it. But it's cool. I mean, that's a nice thing. You know, where we can all still find inspiration in what others do.
Right.
It's easy to kind of get caught up in what you do and start to narrow your vision, which is good too. But at the same time, it's nice to be inspired by what others are doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to throw some of these roasted carrots in here.
Love it.
Just to
This is stunning.
amplify, and you can really see what's happening. Let's go ahead and add a little salt to this.
Don't be shy, right?
Don't be shy.
Salt and brings out the flavor in everything.
All right, and we're almost
Wow.
there.
Okay.
Let's crank it up a bit.
Okay.
This is always my favorite part, is when all these
Magic.
worlds of what we just created come together in one.
Okay. I love the color of it, just all
Yeah,
together.
how's that
It's
looking?
Stunning.
How's the smell?
Oh.
It's good?
Oh, are you kidding?
All right.
Right? Is there a dish that personifies your culinary style? Is there one thing that you could boil it down to if you had to?
Oh boy, I don't
No.
know if there is. Yeah, that's tough. There's a book.
You
There's a
can get the
that
book
does.
right over here.
Yeah.
Which is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, so in plating this, we're going to start to put about a half dozen of the carrot mochi in the plate.
I'm just saying, this is so remarkable. You forget with induction like this, it's not that hot when you take your pan off. Here I am, like wiping it down and not even worrying about it. It's incredible.
And one of the things is I do want to put some of that brown butter over the dish.
Are you kidding me?
I'll plate a couple here.
Looks as good as the book.
Yeah, that's right.
You pass. You had one of my favorite photographers for your book, I noticed, too.
Oh,
Did Ed
Ed
shoot it?
Anderson,
Ed Anderson.
yeah.
He's really
Yeah.
talented. He brought your food to life. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's a brilliant photographer. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to take that carrot juice vinaigrette and kind of float that in the bottom. And I put enough in to where it's definitely floating, and you can see it.
Wow.
And I think the plate definitely makes a difference, you know?
Right.
Choosing the right vestibule to showcase the dishes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these pickled carrots.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of just smother it with pickled carrots. Now I shave mine very thin, so it's a very quick flavor sensation
Yep.
that happens, and that is by design. We do think about the size and the cut, and then what we're going to
Garnish.
do is, let's take some of this
Oh, the
Dukkha.
spice blend.
Make sure I got it all. And the Dukkha kind of just goes over and
Wow.
we smother it,
Gorgeous, chef.
right? And then we're going to take all the fresh herbs, which is a mixture of, fresh mint, some sorrels.
So beautiful.
We tear it a little bit. And, at the end of it, this whole dish, you may have no idea what you're eating, but whatever you're eating is gorgeous. And at State Bird, that's how we sell food.
I would pick that if that came by on the cart.
That's
Are you
right.
kidding me? It's hard to choose, though, because
And so-
everything's beautiful.
And there we go.
Wow, amazing.
All right.
I love it, chef. I know it's like you had an internal alarm clock that knew how to go for 45 minutes. But before we're done, does anybody have any questions for the chef or the filmmaker or about the wine? I want to try the two together.
Yeah, please.
Yes, right over there. Can you get the recipe? I think, in his book, right here is the recipe. Don't be shy. Come and check it out.
And look, it looks just like the book.
You did a
picture.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I think we're also posting all of the recipes from the weekend on the Napa Valley Film Festival site. Yeah, so from all the demos. Did you have a question there too? Oh, that's a great question. She's asking how you differentiate between cooking on induction versus gas. What do you think?
Oh, well, how I would, let's see here, what I would prefer, and, I'm warming up to these.
Yeah.
I think I was introduced to them in a private home, when I was catering years ago, and they drove me crazy, to be honest, because I was like, oh.
Yeah, trying to work the buttons.
And then it gets too hot, and then it turns itself off, and you're like, I don't get it, and you can't quite figure it out. But the more I work with it, the more functional I think it is, and it's very clean, and, as you see, if you splatter anything, you just
wipe
give
it
it a
down.
quick wipe down. I like the glass top. I also love the fact that, we're cooking in, forged cast iron, right?
It's compatible.
And the fact that it's compatible. And I think in the early years, it was hard to find compatibility, and the technology has grown so much that you can take virtually Le Creuset, you can take the Blanc Creatives, you can take just an All-Clad or something, and you're cooking with it all. So that's kind of awesome. I think I don't know. I'm on the fence. I have gas at home. I love cooking. I think this is a lot easier.
I know. It's funny we're trained to use gas.
But I do have to say that I like this more and more, and I'm actually looking to think about doing some more induction work within our own restaurants, just to the compatibility and the flexibility, the ease of it. Also, you can have it completely turned off, and we can be plating on this, so it can be just another work surface, which is kind of cool too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing I'm learning is it's just so exacting. So if you're really worrying about the exact temperature you want to cook with, it's amazing. So the fun thing is too, they're demoing and cooking meals between each demo here for you to come check it out. So you're welcome when we're done here to come see it and play with it some. Yeah, it's amazing. Cool. Well, Chef, everyone, what a beautiful demo. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you.
We're so lucky to have you.
Well, what a treat to be up here in Napa.
And have a treat of I have to eat a whole plate of this. And if you get a chance to check out their restaurants, please do. They're incredible.
Awesome.
Have a great day, everybody.